If I met someone that wasn't registered to be a donor, I would ask them to reconsider. I would tell them that they wouldn't be speaking to me right now if people didn't register to be an organ donor. I found out I needed a transplant at the age of 18. It's about my senior year of high school. I was just turning 17, and I started to feel more fatigue, lethargic. I would have a hard time walking 1 mile when previously I could run 5-6 miles with no problem. I thought it was just because I was a teenager and I was tired and stressed, but it just kept going on, and so that was kind of my initial thought that maybe something was wrong. I had some red dots on my skin, and then it wasn't until I started taking some hormones that gets processed through your liver that I started turning yellow, getting jaundice, and my symptoms were progressively getting worse. When I was told that I was in end-stage cirrhosis of the liver, only 20% of my liver was functioning at the age of 18, I cried. I didn't really know what that meant. They told me that I needed a transplant by the time I was 21, and so it kind of put me into a bit of a depression, and I started pulling away from friends and family. My parents were a huge support system. They went to every appointment with me. We would drive to San Francisco for the appointments, and I had a friend that I met in middle school who stuck with me, and she was a huge support. She didn't really understand what was going on, but when I had to cancel plans with her because I wasn't feeling well last minute or I had to bail, she never got upset with me. So I was on the transplant list for about 9 years, 8.5 to 9 years before I got my surgery, and that was mainly through my 20s. I just think back to those days when I wanted to give up and I didn't want to go another day, and I thought it just wasn't worth it. I didn't even know if I was going to get a liver. So the biggest challenge I had, not only physical, because it took away every physical thing I love to do, and it took away my ability to be a normal college student, was probably the mental and emotional strain that came with having a chronic illness. It didn't click right away. I woke up in the ICU and I knew what happened. I knew I went into surgery and I knew I got a liver, but it wasn't until a few days, maybe even weeks, months after, that I realized, okay, I got someone's liver, someone had passed away, and then it really clicked when I started to be able to go hiking. After staying in the house for 100 days to protect my immune system, I was able to get out, and the first thing I did was drive up here. I love being outdoors, I love hiking and just being in nature, and I found a pretty simple trail up here that I was just seeing how far I could go. Later on I found out my donor loved to hike, and so it just means even more to me to be out here. Logically speaking, I'm always prepared with like a will. I wake up every morning and I still have nerve pain. I have joint pain from the autoimmune diseases. I lay in bed and I'm like, I really don't want to get up. It's 5:30. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go for a run. I'm really tired. And then I take a minute and I think about everything. I think about the last 10 years and a few seconds, and then I'm up and I'm in a good mood and I'm happy at work and I'm happy to connect with people. And I appreciate every step I can take on the runs that I go, the hikes that I take, the times I spend with my dog and my husband and my niece. And after my transplant, one of the first things I did was go to Antelope Island. I got really close to the bison, and it was just really fun to be out there and explore that part of Utah. I have been able to do hikes in this canyon a lot of times during the week in the summer. I've gone to the Bees games. Baseball is my favorite sport, and just being able to sit out there and enjoy the game and not be in pain. I've started running again. So this year I did the Salt Lake running series. Started with a 5K, and then the next month was a 10K, and then this month is a 15K. So I will be running that, and then I'm signing up for a half marathon next month, and hopefully I complete that before I turn 30. Running is just, when I was younger, was always a form of like therapy for me, and I loved it. And so being able to do that again has just given me so much joy. I've been able to feed a giraffe, which is my favorite animal, and to me that was a dream come true. And It's really been an amazing 3.5 years. Despite some of the challenges I've had post-transplant, it's been amazing. I've tried to make the most of it.
To someone who's not registered, what would you say to them?
I would ask them why. I know people have their reasons. And then I would, ask them to do a little bit of research on it. I had a life-saving transplant because I needed a liver. And I would ask them to do some research and talk to more people that it has impacted, talk to donor families. There have been donor families that have been against it, but their loved one wanted to donate their organs and they've completely turned around on their opinion of it, and to do their research. And I would ask them to sign up to be an organ donor. It's a very important thing, and we don't take those organs with us when we go. So if we can save someone's life or help enhance a life through organ, tissue, eye, skin, bone donation, then why not?